Well, the family of a murdered Pinellas County teenager is suing the dating app Grindr, claiming it failed to keep minors like their daughter safe. Now, a Florida-based consumer law attorney is questioning why stronger safeguards were not already in place. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joins us live with details from that lawsuit. Georgia.
Paolo, let's just say Miranda Corsett, she was just 16 years old, police say, when she was tortured and killed by an adult she met online. Her family outlining in a lawsuit, they're blaming the app due to its lack of security features by not allowing a proper age verification, they say, led to her meeting the adult online. 16-year-old Miranda Corsett was a Gulfport teen murdered in a brutal attack. Authorities say she met her accused killer, 37-year-old Stephen Grass, and his alleged accomplice, 35-year-old Michelle Vega, on Grindr, a dating app that uses precise location tracking and doesn't require users to prove their age.
So, unfortunately, again, we have a massive lapse in our state for protecting minors and other consumers from this type of activity.
Her family is now suing the company, saying it failed to keep minors off the platform and allowed her to be targeted. While Grindr hasn't responded to the suit, legal experts say the case raises questions about the platform's responsibility.
Of course, it's the plaintiff's position that they can be. And so, of course, it's going to be Grindr's position that it's the responsibility of the person that ultimately murdered the decedent.
Zachary Zermay is a Florida consumer law attorney not involved in the case. He says the family may face an uphill legal battle in this state.
And Florida is a particular bad place to bring a lawsuit like this because of those protections that are located in other states simply are not there.
Florida does have digital safety laws, but Zermay says they're nearly impossible for families to use.
I'm certain that the argument of the plaintiff's attorneys are going to be making is, well, why didn't they simply require the users to verify their identity using a driver's license or passport, which in my opinion, that would be reasonable.
And Zermay says while the case may be difficult, it could spark change.
If one thing that can be taken as a result of this tragedy, it should result in a change to the current structure because, again, this simply is not working.
And the lawsuit alleges 9 counts against Grindr that include negligence, wrongful death, and sex trafficking. We did reach out to Grindr, and they did not respond to our request for comment. Reporting live at the federal courthouse, I'm Georgia MacArthur. 8 on your side.
People to enter our country who wish to do us harm. We cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States.
President Donald Trump is set to impose a travel ban on people from a dozen countries. He says it's because of a threat posed to the U.S. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
And I'm Stacey Scheibel. Thank you for joining us. The new order blocks people from 12 nations and imposes restrictions on 7 more, including visitors from Cuba and Venezuela. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joins us. He's live in Tampa with how these restrictions will impact people here in the Bay Area. Jeff.
Good evening, Stacey and Keith. Well, you just heard the president say, and the U.S. State Department told me today that these travel restrictions and the travel bans are needed to protect Americans and American interests. But some people right here in the Bay Area say these new restrictions will impact them.
The new travel ban will impact travel from 12 nations, including Haiti, Afghanistan, Iran, and Yemen.
This is an important step. It is a vital step to show that this government is being vigilant in protecting U.S. citizens from foreign terrorists, as well as from public safety threats and national security threats.
But the new restrictions will also limit visas for people traveling from Haiti, Cuba, and Venezuela. Federico Alves is an economist living in Clearwater. Now he says the restrictions will impact his family.
We are devastated because my daughter has literally dozens of cousins in Venezuela who want to come they come every year to visit her, to spend time in Orlando, in the parks.
But Alves believes the restrictions are needed in some form because he says criminals from Venezuela and other nations were allowed to enter the U.S.
I support the president on the fact that those people have to leave the country because they are criminals.
But Tampa attorney Ralph Fernandez, who is a strong critic of the Trump administration and a person who has devoted his life to fighting for Cuban rights, is not confident the restrictions will help.
There's no uniformity in enforcement in this administration. You can't rely on the written rule or the rule of law. They'll let whoever they wish travel when they want them to travel.
There are some exceptions to the travel ban. For instance, individuals who help the United States who live in Afghanistan may still be able to get a visa to travel here. But for the most part, the 12 nations that have a total travel ban, it will be difficult, if not impossible, for people to travel from there to here. Keith?
And you're talking about incoming when it's on this travel ban, Jeff. But what about U.S. citizens who want to travel to some of these restricted nations?
Well, the U.S. State Department already has travel advisories to many of the nations on this total ban. But for the most part, if you are still allowed, if there is travel allowed from the United States to those countries and you're a U.S. citizen, you can still make that trip.
All right, Jeff Patterson reporting live for us tonight in Tampa. Thank you.
It's actually putting their health in danger. Making a parent take care of a child like that around the clock by themselves, the child is at risk for, abuse, neglect.
Are medically fragile children getting the help they need? A Tampa Bay mother is fighting for her 10-year-old son after Medicaid ripped away his nursing services. Good evening, I'm Stacy Scheibel.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now, this mother reached out to the governor's office. Then she reached out to her congressman for help. She got nowhere. And now she's reaching out to us.
Well, investigative reporter Brittany Muller joins us live in studio after speaking with her.
Stacy, Keith, for 3 years, Mayak had a nurse who came to his Pasco County home providing critical services. Those services have since been yanked away, and his mom says she feels stranded without any explanation as to why.
Mayak's speech, mobility, and overall care had been improving for the past 3 years with the help of a private nurse.
Why is that SpongeBob so funny?
That was until his mom, Dana Rogers, received this letter.
What happened in February?
I don't know. We went to recertification. They said we need more information.
This letter from Children's Medical Services under Florida Medicaid shows that Mayak's private nursing hours were deemed not medically necessary.
They didn't just cut or reduce his hours. They completely took them away. I had 130 hours a week, and now I have none.
Mayak has tubular sclerosis complex 1. It's a genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on organs, specifically Mayak's brain and his heart. Rogers says the tumors cause complications, including epilepsy. Mayak also needs a G-tube to receive seizure medication and hydration. But without the extra care from the state, Rogers worries all of her son's progress will be lost.
I have no other answers. Nobody will give me any answers. The home health agency ain't got any other answers. That's all they do. They just send you this and say, hey, here you go. Well, do your appeal now.
Rogers appealed in March, but then received another letter of denial in April. 8 on Your Side asked Medicaid about Mayak's case. We are still waiting for a response. But as this single mom with 2 other boys works 2 jobs to make ends meet, she fears for Mayak's future without the state's help.
What would you say to CMS and Medicaid?
Just give us our services back. By law, he qualifies.
This is not unusual. We've gotten other calls about this, and we're going to get answers for these families because they deserve to know.
Now, Brittany, the mother that you talked to, she said she had reached out to her congressman. I know you did as well. Any progress there?
I did, Stacy. Right after we previewed this story at 5 o'clock, I got an email from Gus Bilirakis' office, and it seems to be that there is some progress. I was told they would reach out to Dana Rogers, which is what she wanted, and they told her what they told me. They will personally contact the state agency to see what can be done, and we're not going to let this go either because these families deserve an answer.
At the very least, and Congressman Bilirakis is pretty good about going after something when he wants to know an answer. So hopefully they'll stay on this and get back to you and get back to her and something will be resolved. So,
and we'll have another report to look forward to.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brittany.
And if you have something you'd like Brittany to investigate, call our 8 on Your Side helpline at 1-800-338-0800.
City leaders unveiling their plans tonight for the South Howard Flood Relief Project, and it did not go over well. Good evening, I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us. Residents have strong feelings about all of this, and they did not hold back tonight. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers was at the meeting for us, and it sounds like a lot of these people left the meeting more annoyed than informed, Nicole.
Well, Keith, here's the thing. Residents were given one of these folders. Inside has a paper in it, and you were able to sort of rank and give your opinion on the designs and features. Each resident was given 5 green stickers and 1 red sticker, and they were able to put it on a board and show what they like and what they didn't like. And while some residents were really happy to give their opinions, other residents felt that they wanted to say that they didn't want it to go down South Howard at all.
Depending on who you ask, the South Howard Flood Relief Project is either a step in the right direction or a costly mistake. Some say the project will provide necessary flood relief.
What they're going to put in place is that spine that'll prevent or reduce the likelihood of flooding for a lot of portions of South Tampa.
Others say it's costly, inconvenient, and will leave businesses in the crossfire.
If our employees and our clients can't get to our business, we can't service our clients.
Nevertheless, the city is moving forward.
I'm dumbfounded.
In a chaotic meeting, city leaders presented their recommended route going down Swan Avenue and then through South Howard Avenue. They asked for residents' input on design themes and features like raised intersections and lighted crosswalks, which didn't go over well for some.
They're talking about architecture and dog parks. They're not talking about anything that these people care about.
With much of the debate surrounding how much this project could impact businesses, we took that concern to the city.
Have you guys done an economic impact statement to figure out just how far that economic impact could go?
We typically don't do that with a public works type project. However, we do know that there are some economic impacts that come along. There'll be very positive ones when we get the project done.
Soho Business Alliance General Manager Steve Michelini says he took it upon himself to get a private study done.
We came up with about $1 million a day. You're talking about 35 different establishments, major economic engines. Really? I mean, you really expecting to say, oh, we're going to work around it? We've been hearing that for months.
Residents were also given one of these cards with a QR code to learn more about the project and the timeline for everything. We have this up on our website, WFLA.com. As for the next public meeting, there's no date set, but they do expect it sometime in the fall. For now, live in Tampa, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.